who had so much impact on this case. She was the one who referred the judge to give visitations to Valva. She went over the first judge, Judge Visigliano, in my divorce case, didn't even grant overnight visitations for Valva because I provided to him the hard evidence, the evidence of hardcore pornography that Valva was involved in. And the judge looked at the paperwork and said no overnight visitations. Dana McKeep insisted, and then I was not that knowledgeable of the law, and they made like a visitation schedule, and it turns out during the visitations he was already trafficked the children. Coming back from the visitation like 2 hours later, I couldn't even recognize my children, and the children started talking what was happening to them during the time when Valva was taking them for visitations. So it was all designed to cover up the crimes against my children. And Dana McCabe is tremendously responsible for what have happened to them because on her account, Judge Zimmerman removed the children. But that was all pre-planned. I think I posted the evidence when there was a letter written by attorney Michael Valva's attorney Shanna Curti to mortgage company that Valva applied for loan for Center Mortgage's home. And in that letter, she states that the children will be living with Valva and I may have visitations and that the children will be living at 11 Bittersweet Lane. She writes everything in that letter that's dated 2 months prior. So it's dated July 2017, and kids were unlawfully taken from me on September 6, 2017, 2 months prior. It was all planned. And then the Judge Zimmerman, in order to cover up crime, she's issuing full stay-away order of protection against me without even telling me she's issuing it. I'm at the where I supposed to be informed about it during the court appearance. After we came back from lunch, she's just her law clerk is handing me 2 pieces of paper, and she's saying, "Ms. Valva, just cooperate. The police will come and take the children." When I went outside the courtroom, I see, what is this? Full stay-away order of protection, and that full stay-away order of protection, you can check, was not even in court's minutes, was not in the Department of Justice registry or police registry. It was all done under the table, like a fictional full stay-away of protection. And I'm asking myself, why this judge was not disciplined? Why there was no charges filed against her? Then I couldn't see my children for 2 weeks. And when I hired attorney, I had to borrow money to pay this attorney who also failed me and my children, who destroyed my case. And after 2 weeks, she granted me a visitations. So 2 weeks prior, she issuing full stay order of protection, being so concerned about my children's safety in my care. And then she allows me 2 weeks later to see the children unsupervised. And after that, when I've seen how much my children deteriorated under Valva care, first of all, tremendous weight loss, to the point that I think in 1 week, I have to recall the data, but I think in 1 week, Anthony lost like 20 or something % of his body. Well, yeah, his body mass index. And there is a record from the neurologist. The body mass index for Anthony and Tammy was less than 1%. Less than 1%. That's starvation to death. That is starvation to death. Andrew as well. He was tremendously starved. And all of this was, all of this is in official records. All of this is proved, but they still kept my children with those abusers. No matter what I would have done, what I would have said, I begged those judges. Judge Lawrence, if you read the court transcripts a month before Tammy died in December, he talks to me. He berated me. He said, I first need to learn how to crawl in order to see my children, something. He didn't want to listen to any facts relating to the abuse of my children. Why is he still judge? Why is he still presiding over cases? Why he wasn't disciplined? It's not understandable to me. He pretty much allowed the criminals and crimes against my children to continue, to the criminals to continue placing the lives of my children in tremendous danger. Never removed the children, treated me with so much disrespect. And I just want to save my children's lives. And I was appearing pro se because I knew that none of the attorneys would have even helped in this case because of Dana McCabe. They were all afraid of her connections. And then the case in Suffolk County with Judge Chang, that case I had to go through 2 trials, not 1 but 2 trials. First trial was to defend myself against the full stay order, another full stay order of protection that was issued by Judge Cheng without my court appearance. And then that wasn't enough. Then there was another trial to fight the false charges of neglect. And just so you can picture how this whole thing came about, after they removed my children, not fully from me, in September, they were trying so hard to come up with a reason. So obviously, I think it was Valva called CPS on Halloween, right? The day when the evil truly is rejoicing and the most horrific abuse is happening to children on Halloween. The most evil, demonic event that exists probably. So on Halloween, he calls and he files false allegations against me. And they were literally, the content of the allegation was exactly what was he doing for the children he blamed on me. Giving the children brown medicine, beating them, stripping them down. Everything what he has done to the children, he blamed me. And obviously the process started. And because living in Nassau County, there is a special jurisdiction for CPS case workers. And I was supposed to be interviewed by the Nassau County CPS case worker. But the Suffolk County CPS case worker, Michelle Clark, she was already in corruption, and she was trying so hard to even change the jurisdiction to cover the case against me. And when I file reports informing the CPS what truly is happening with the children, she was also taking upon the case against Valva and Polina. But she went to so the case started, and I had the visitation, and at the last visitation, it was on January 14th. January 14th, 2018. I've seen Tammy's injuries. Specifically right here, because he went to the bathroom on his buttocks, on the top part, on the top part, but the injuries were like, I can't even describe it to you, when in a circular shape. And when one of my friends seen, I took a picture, I called CPS, I filed every possible report you can file. They were saying, Justina, those injuries are aligned with the sexual, either somebody kicked Tammy so hard that it would inflict those injuries on his buttocks, or he was tremendously sexually abused. And Michelle Clark, the caseworker, she knew that she can't cover up for Valva and Paulina anymore. And that's why I'm supposed to have a visitation on the 15th and 16th. And I went to Valva's house to pick up the children. They never produced the children because I already filed a report and never opened the door for caseworker. And Michelle Clark is going on the 17th to the court, and she is requesting full state order of protection against me. She files the neglect case against me and Valva. But look, Valva, he didn't even go for any hearing. They gave him, it was adjournment in contemplation of dismissal. So he received the classes from the library, and he received a year temporary order of protection for a year. And obviously, during that year, he tremendously abused the kids, but they never arrested him. They never removed the children. And the case against me was pretty much from January 17th, 2018 to April of 2019. That's why that was the time frame that I didn't see my children. And even then, I won those trials. I defended myself. God was my judge and my defender. And I defended, I proved my innocence. Even after that, I went back to the divorce court. I asked for visitations with my children because the allegations were false. And I won the 2 trials. And Judge Lawrence still wouldn't show me the children. It was all done to protect the abusers of my kids. They didn't want me to see how much my children are being abused, and they didn't want to see the state that they were at. So there's nothing that Judge Condon can say to defend those judges, because the judges have my children's blood on their hands. Okay? They had so many opportunities to remove my children from the care and custody of Michael Valva. You can read the court transcripts. I begged them to do it. I told them that kids will lose their lives if they're gonna continue living with those 2 abusers, and nothing happened. They laugh at me. They make jokes about my accent. Even during the neglect trial, the county attorney, Ratchi, I think it was Randall Ratchi, he even asked me to say the 10 Commandments. He laughed at my religion. And it was so deeply humiliated that they just dare, knowing what's happening to my children. And they laugh at the people trying to protect the children who, like in my case, I was just trying to save my children's lives.